Okay, so I know it's been a month practically since the last time I made a video, but it's just not a whole lot to say without repeating yourself, and I'm pretty much going to be doing that with this video, but oh well. So, here we are, again, talking about another loss in pretty much the same fashion. Green Bay Packers come up short against the Denver Broncos after another slow start, and their rally from the second half wasn't enough to overcome how poorly they played in the first half. I think it's safe to say that we had the worst offense in the league. There's no question about it. That's no exaggeration, and I say it very confidently. This is the worst offense in the NFL right now. That no matter how many weeks or time all Green Bay gets, they continue to come out playing sloppy football, not effectively moving the ball, and just complete total lack of execution on so many plays. It's a waste of time playing the blame game at this point because it's everyone's fault. It's Matt LaFleur's fault. It's our GM Brian's fault. It's the players' fault. It's everyone's fault. We suck. Bottom line. We had a week and a half to get ready for a terrible football team like the Raiders, and we come out playing like shit. We had 2 weeks to get ready for an even worse team like the Denver Broncos, and still come out playing like ass. Losing Aaron Rodgers only just meant that all the weaknesses of our football team was going to be completely exposed this season. That's all it meant. Because we are a bad football team. We were a bad football team, man. Last year, we were a bad football team. Rodgers was playing the worst football of his career. He's gone, so now we're even worse with a fourth-year quarterback who's just now taking over as a full-time starter, so he needs all the time in the world to fill the game and improve as a passer, a decision-maker, and hey, if he doesn't, then move on from him. Okay, and it's not like I'm saying that I want Jordan Love experiment to fail. I don't want to see them fail. I'm rooting for Jordan Love to succeed. Because the last thing you want is for your team to be struggling to find its next quarterback. Look at how many teams have suffered through the years not having a franchise quarterback. And with the amount of talent and talented quarterbacks being drafted and coming into the league, you want to be able to score on that right away. So I'm rooting for Love to succeed, absolutely. I am. But it's going to be hard when the youth of this team hurts more than it helps. You watch the Broncos game, and guys are running the wrong routes. Love is making poor decisions late in the football game. The offensive line is terrible, being barely able to protect him in the passing downs and poorly opening up running lanes for Jones and Dillon to run through. As much as I crap on Matt LaFleur, there are good plays that he draws up. But then the guys are just simply failing to execute. In the heat of the game, you don't always notice, but once you go back and watch the film, you see it. Perfect example was the end of that Raiders game. Going back to that game, that was a clear touchdown if Love was able to get more air on that football. Watson was open, coming off the line, and had his guy beat. You even saw Matt LaFleur on the sideline jumping up and down because he knew the play was worked. He saw Watson was open, but Jordan Love just couldn't get a good throw off. And Watson, even himself, didn't battle to try to get the ball when it was in the air. But you got to give credit to the Raiders for the pressure that caused that poor throw to begin with. So it just is what it is, and it's not going to get any better. This is our football team, a young football team that just can't get out of its own way. Failing to execute and look good on offense against a poor defense, and the Broncos is about as bad as it gets. These teams were literally just fighting each other to prove who was more worser, and that definitely was the Packers. And this is why I said that if you're a team that's struggling throughout the season like the Broncos or the Raiders, you play the Packers, all of a sudden you look like a good football team again. So we're definitely one of the worst teams in the NFL, and we definitely have one of the worst offenses in the NFL. Okay? And the defense, what can you really say about defense? Yes, the defense only gave up 19 points. But again, it was the Broncos. They're not a good football team. We still missed a lot of tackles in this game. 13 total. So no, the defense in no way, shape, or form is a bright spot. They still also suck. Opponents are still moving the ball quite easily on the ground. The pass rush has been inconsistent outside of Rashawn Gary, and the secondary hasn't had many opportunities to make a lot of plays on the football. The Broncos gained 99 yards after contact in the run game. Denver finished with 6 runs over 10 yards and 145 total rushing yards. The Packers also missed 5 tackles against the pass, Broncos receivers forced 2 missed tackles and gained 43 combined yards after the catch. Perine forced a big miss from Quay Walker on a 19-yard catch during the scoring drive in the first quarter. So tackling is still the biggest problem with our defense. 3 times this season, they missed 10 or more tackles. It's pathetic, truly. That Falcons game and now the Broncos were the best examples of it. I mean, did you hear what I said? 3 times so far this season, the Packers have missed 10 or more tackles. That's not good. It just isn't good. How do you expect to win football games playing this way? Again, I don't care that they only give up 19 points. Yes, they do a good job keeping these teams out of the end zone and red zone. They're actually 7th ranked in the league. But it doesn't matter. You still see all the problems with the defense. They don't do a good job in creating takeaways, and again, give up chunks of yardage to these teams week after week. And just going back to the offense again, they've been outscored 63-6 in the first half of the last 4 games. They come out in the second half and rally and have had many chances to win at the end, but only to fail would usually love throwing a pick. The Falcons game, the Raiders game, this game against the Broncos, all these games have been winnable. Instead of being 2-4, Green Bay can arguably be 5-1. The only game where we truly had no business winning was against the Lions. That was an absolute ass kicking. We deserved to lose that game. But the rest of these football games, all the rest of these games have been winnable games. The Falcons, we should have won against the Falcons. And the Raiders and in the Broncos game, we had chances to try to rally to come back and win at the end, but we didn't. Due to love throwing an interception in the end. So this team just doesn't know how to win. And I think that's what I'm going to title this video. This team just simply does not know how to win. Okay, when Jordan Love threw that interception at the end of the game, that was arguably one of his worst throws I ever seen. As there was no need to go for the home ball when all we needed to do was to get in the field goal range. He's got to learn to just take what the D is giving him. And yes, it was 3rd and 20, so I get it. You want those yards back, but it just wasn't there. It wasn't there. Don't just throw the ball up and put it up for grabs. Especially when you already struggle as much as he does with his deep ball accuracy. His accuracy on deep balls is horrible. Horrible. So when you have a quarterback that just cannot throw the ball well downfield, these teams don't have to play too far back. They can just be more up close to the line of scrimmage, and you see how the Packers didn't have to adjust in their play calling. They have to call plays where Jordan Love has to get the ball out of his hands a lot more quicker. They're calling a lot more screen passes, dumping it off to wide receiver screens. Simple pitch and catch, easy throws, because he can't get the ball consistently down the field with his arm. So yeah, those are my criticisms for Jordan Love right there. It's not because I've said it already. I don't want so much pressure being on him. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that we gotta keep the diapers on him the entire season. All right, eventually the diapers got to come off. He's either gonna fix his deep ball accuracy or he isn't. Only time will tell. But like I said, these guys just gotta learn how to win, man. We've only got it blown out once, and that was just against the Lions, like I said. So it's a growing pain. And look, we gotta just deal with it. As a Packer fan, you just gotta deal with it. Expectations are low, and it's frustrating watching Green Bay play, but it's growing pain. We can only hope one day they turn it around, but it won't be anytime soon. It just won't be anytime soon. And that's why we're 3rd in the NFC North, 2 games under 500. Because they don't know how to win. They don't know how to win, man. Penalties. Lots of penalties. Poor first half play, poor downfield passing, horrible tackling, no consistent run game, bad offensive line, not creating turnovers on defense. This is why we suck. This is why the Green Bay Packers suck. And they deserve to be, then their record deserves to be what it is, and it's a complete reflection of what type of football team we have. There's an argument to be made that we could all those games besides the Lions game was winnable. We could be 5-1, or hell, with the way we've been playing, we can easily just be 1-5 instead of 2-4. The only convincing win we got was against the Bears. We could just thank the Saints for collapsing the way they did. But anyway, that's all I gotta say, man. And just lastly, these injuries, man. Like, just the injuries are also just a problem, because unfortunately we came into this game with a lot of guys banged up, and it only just got worse with Donald Savage going down, Watson, Luke, Devontae Wyatt. You know, we just can't stay healthy. You know, Jair was out again. Apparently the bye week just didn't help at all in nursing any of these pre-injuries. So man, it is a mess. This season is an absolute mess, and it's crazy how quickly it just turned into one. Again, you come into this game, you came into the season. The only thing we wanted to do as Packers fans was just see what type of team we got. But God damn it, man, we definitely see what team we have, man. but you're not gonna. But I'm not gonna stop watching them. I'm not gonna turn my back on them, no matter how frustrating it gets, man. I'm gonna always cheer for the Packers, always. So it's right back to the drawing board, man. And I'm out of here. Peace.